Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. All right, I mentioned earlier, we all need to rethink our approach to self-defense with guns. We should all be re-examining that all the time, actually. But the thing that brought it to mind is I'm looking at what's going on with the stand your ground laws, and we kind of applaud those. You don't have to run away. You're not required to retreat. But it's becoming clear that some people, a few people, are taking the idea of stand your ground laws to a place where they really weren't intended to go, and a place where it actually puts them into jeopardy. Here's what I'm talking about. Stand your ground laws, when they're passed, they don't change when, and here's the important part to understand. I've tried to explain this in the past. They do not change the criteria of when you can legally use self-defense, when you can legally use a firearm in self-defense. All they do is say you don't have to retreat. If you are legally where you're supposed to be, you don't have to run away. But it doesn't change the requirement for you to be in danger of grave bodily harm or death. Let me put it another way. You are still going to be judged by a jury of your peers, and the quote-unquote reasonable man concept still applies. That is, 12 people are going to look at it and say, is this what I would have done? Is this what a reasonable person would have done? Irrespective of that, you think, well, I've got to stand your ground. I can do what I need to do to protect myself. No, actually, no. And if you don't understand that, you need to do a little deeper dive into this. I'm going to piggyback that with this. I am the captain of Team Runaway. I will leave if that is an option. I will apologize if that is an option. I will try to get myself and my family out of this place. I am not going to stand there and stick out my chest and be a man when the result may be that somebody gets shot or killed. Could be the bad guy, person I think is the bad guy, could be me, could be a member of my family. What the hell are you thinking? Get away. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Even if you're completely in the right, if you can defuse it with a quick apology, I'm sure sorry, I didn't see you there. Can I buy you a drink? Whatever it takes to get out of the situation. A corollary to that. If you find yourself in a place where you're thinking, boy, I'm sure glad I got my gun with me here, you're in the wrong place. You need to leave immediately. Because if you're thinking that I may need my gun here, you should be thinking, I need to get away from this place immediately. There are no rules that say because you're supposedly the good guy that you're not going to get hurt. There are no rules that say because you're the good guy, you're not going to end up going to jail. Nothing good comes from being in a gunfight. It's going to be a mess. The thing I wanted to say, I can't say on radio. It's going to be ugly, And I know people who are firearms instructors at the very best gunfighting schools who've been career law enforcement. And I remember one of them saying, he says, oh yeah, he says, I will apologize. He says, I will beg. I will just do anything I have to do to get out of a situation. And this is a guy who can and has taken care of himself with firearms. But because he's been there and done that, he knows what can happen. And his whole deal is get away. And you probably heard me say this before. I think the more you train, the more you're exposed to it, the less you want to do it, and the more you realize I don't ever want to do this. I'll still train, and I'll still carry, and I'll have the stuff I need. But you need to get really, really past the idea that, well, now that I got my stuff, I don't have to apologize. I don't have to do that stuff. That attitude indicates to me that you really wouldn't have a good concept of what's going on. Now let's apply that to what's another thing that's going on: road rage. How do I say this? Get your ego out of the car. Get your self-identity away from the car. Somebody is driving erratically. Somebody is cutting you off. Somebody is driving too slow in the left lane. I don't care. That's your mantra. Put on classical music. Put on something that soothes you. Slow down. Drive 5 miles an hour under the speed limit for 3 minutes by your watch. That'll allow them to get away. It's not an issue for you anymore. If you get sucked up in a road rage deal, I'm going to show him. He's not going to pass me. I'm going to fill the gap. I'm not going to let him in. He's trying to get around me. That's moronic, because you project it out to the end. What if this guy is nutso? He's willing to start shooting into your car. Use judgment. Consider the what ifs.